not under the helicopter. Those aerials we showed you, you can see of the floods were done with a news helicopter, which cost a small fortune to put up. And it's got a gimbal camera on the front of it, you know, those little ball-shaped cameras. Really, really smooth, beautiful shots. But it's a helicopter, it costs a fortune. To hire one would be about 2 or 3 grand a day. This was done for 300 quid. So Amanda's doing a piece about the Harbour Festival.
Will be circus heaven and a place to go for children's entertainment. The amphitheatre is celebrating Bristol and community.
And these shots, that was a bit wobbly.
Arts at the Arnold Thingy, and BBC Radio Bristol has teamed up with the SS Great Britain to keep the entertainment flowing.
It's a great showcase of Bristol. We've got glorious sunshine on the bay that brings in almost £10 billion.
There you get the idea.
200,000 visitors coming from far away to see it. This is a really great day for Bristol, as it always is at the Harbour Festival.
We mustn't forget the star of the show is the water itself, and you all can sail on her. The flags and the bunting have been coming out all week, and as well as some of the local favourites, the Napoo and the Pyronaut, for example, we've been welcoming some very important guests as well, including the Royal Navy vessel HMS Catterstock over there, and you'll be allowed on water this weekend.
No fireworks on Saturday, partly to save money in tough times, but in essence the festival will offer all that visitors have grown to expect. The weather, well, some sunshine will surely help keep the crowds.
So yeah, a nice point-to-west piece about big events that weekend.
Like to find out how we got those amazing bird's eye views of Bristol Harborside, just go to our Point West Facebook page and all the details.
So there's the Facebook page. I could find it on there, but actually, so it's a thing called the Octopod. And so we put this up online. This is a good example of just showing people showing the plumbing, you know, how we got stuff. This is a guy called Clive Bailey, who runs Bailey Balloons, not far away from here. And he's invested in this. He's also got a license, crucially, to fly one of these over a built-up area. That's why he charges a fee, because he's got to make his money back. He's using a DSLR strapped to, there we go, strapped to 8 propellers. Not very pretty. And it's a bit bumpy. But there are a couple of people now just in this region that have got these. And these are the shots you get from it. So in the piece we just used a few shots that were decent because it gets buffeted quite badly by wind. But you know, this is early days. I can see in very short order someone getting some sort of gyroscope device on the bottom of that, and it becomes that much smoother because it will dampen the jerky movements. There are some people who have used GoPros. There's some people that fitted GoPros to these, and because you can fit a Wi-Fi back to a GoPro, you can view it on an iPhone. So you could be viewing what you're seeing. This is what police forces are using. They're using drones and things like that to be able to see into situations and things like that. But this is a really cost-effective option of getting aerials, which just add a whole new level to what you're doing. Definitely going to book it in for Glastonbury, because it would be just fantastic to get some shots over Glastonbury on that. Which, probably before all people move in, because I'm not sure I want that running out of juice over 20,000 people. But just to give people a perspective of the scale of that site, which we always try and do by doing speeded upfits, getting around to all of it, but actually we have helicopters there as well, occasionally. But it's a pretty impressive bit of kit. And you can pick up these for a couple £100, not one like that. But there are versions that you can fit a GoPro to. That will do that.
So you say this is a consumer hobby as well?
Very definitely. them. You can buy them in Dixon's. You know, you can buy them. I think so. I'm not quite sure. You can definitely buy them online. They're really cheap.
Anyone got one?
Well, they're cheap for broadcast purposes. I mean, actually, to it's well, I can leave that with you if you want. But it's but yes, it is. It's a very cheap way of getting aerials, but there are license issues. Recently, I don't know if you're aware, there's a brand new bit of broadcasting house in London, a massive new newsroom, and because it's all inside, before they allow people into it, they got one of these GoPros on the bottom of a little thing. I think it's only got 4 propellers. And so they went around, they did a sort of show and tell around the newsroom, and they got it. This is like in a, you can do it in a shopping centre quite easily, and just run it off. I think you can actually, there are ones where you can control them from the iPhone as well. So there are lots of companies getting into them. That's quite an early version. That was 6 months ago. I wouldn't be surprised if there are versions now that are even more capable. There are people that sent up stuff from us from floods as well.
Are they potentially quite discreet, and are there privacy issues?
Yeah, there are lots of issues. Not least them falling out of the sky, because that's got, imagine a DSLR plus that rig falling down on you. That would cause you quite a lot of grief, which is why the license is quite expensive, I think. So Clive's the only one I know locally that's got a license to run it over a built-up area, which is why I'd quite like to get him into Glastonbury as well.
And if you get too many people trying to cover the same event all using those, it could be air traffic issues.
Yeah, well, the police are using them. Yeah, you've seen it's the military that developed
the MOD,
and for much more important, arguably, purposes and much more dangerous purposes. Ironically, bizarrely, one of our freelance camera crews is currently in Afghanistan flying them. His hobby is to fly model aircraft, but seriously big model aircraft, like the wingspan from there to there. He's built this room, and he was contacted by the MOD because they needed people with that skill to go out to Afghanistan to fly drones. So that's what he's doing. And I got him a couple of years ago to strap a camera to one of his model aircraft because I wanted a horse's eye view of going around Cheltenham Racecourse. Didn't really work, but because this was 2 or 3 years ago, so I was trailblazing. And so he got his model aircraft and we tried to film. I think we just strapped a little camera to the bottom. It wasn't even a GoPro, GoPro. And it looked okay. I think we put it up online as well. So that kind of stuff we're using, and that kind of stuff is on GoPros. Every one of my crews has now got a GoPro because, and they got a kit with it, and which means that stuff done underwater was done with a GoPro. The quality is so high. You can black it to the side of a car and we've got some shots recently of going through flooding, and they just look fantastic. They're just great shots. And then if you need a reporter to do a piece of camera in the car, in days of pre-GoPro days, you have to have a camera in the passenger seat and do a piece of camera as they're driving. Now you just plonk a GoPro on, and the cameraman can view it on his iPhone and get the framing right and get everything right with it. So you're not even doing it blind, as it were. So those bits of technology, I mean, they help, but actually, you saw in Fee's piece, it just helped with the storytelling. They're not a golden bullet to everything we need, but that's the only time we've used the octopod because it has to be quite a specific kind of need. It's not cheap to hire